Greetings everyone. In today's video, I'm going to answer the question, why do I need EMF protection? Why do I need to EMF proof my home? What will that do for me and how to do it? So I'm going to attempt to answer that question and offer some suggestions as to little tips and fixes that can be done to the home, and I'm going to get into that in the second part of this video. In the first part, we're just going to talk about why. So first of all, our home is our sanctuary. So it's a place where, as living organic beings, we go to restore and regenerate our energies. Our home is a place that is ideally, it is supportive to organic life, to human life. How do humans stay healthy? Well, they have some basic needs. The first of which is clean air. The second of which is clean water. They also need clean food, they need shelter, love, and community. When humans are getting those basic needs met, they tend to have a higher level of immunity. Their own electro field, their bioplasma, tends to grow and expand, which is a measure of, the best measure, evidently, of a person's immunity. The person also tends to be a bit more patient and compassionate to their fellow human. When any of those basic needs are threatened or compromised, we tend to lose our patience a little bit faster. We tend to get stressed out. EMF protection comes in this conversation because it is concerned with clean air. So everyone knows that if you go to LA, you can see the smog. So urban air pollution is no mystery to the majority. But what is mysterious to some is electro smog. So what do we mean by electro smog? EMF smog, or electro smog as it's known, is referring to all artificial frequencies that are in the airwaves vibrationally, that are acting upon a living organism. And it has been shown that even if, for those that are not sensitive, even if you don't feel it, that living in an environment of artificial interference signals cannot be tolerated for a lifetime. And the need for protection is urgent, according to these scientific sources. Constant exposure to frequency ranges that are alien to organic life have been shown to cause cellular degeneration and DNA mutation. So electrosmog are, as I said, artificial frequencies that are generated by all these devices that we use. Cell phones, particularly the towers, are very powerful. And they're way out of the range that human being and organic life have evolved in. Humans, as I stated in other videos, do really well with the Schumann resonances. The Schumann resonances have also been called the heartbeat of the earth, or the natural pulsation or the natural vibration of the earth and natural environments. Schumann resonance is approximately 7.83 hertz, which corresponds to the human alpha brainwave frequency. And just in case you're wondering, the alpha wave is not the one that you make when you're stressed out and you're irritated. The alpha is associated with states of alert focus, and contentment, and creativity. So the alpha is definitely a nice place to be, and this is what the earth herself has offered to the human. So in today's world, unless you already live in the country, unless you make an intentional effort or part of your routine that you enjoy to go outside, to walk in nature, if you can get your bare feet on the earth, that's the best, because that's actually the plug-in. Because see, this is part of this entire conversation, is the reasons that humans are so affected by these artificial frequencies is because we are electrical. But we need our frequencies, which is the earth frequency, which is nature frequencies. So it's very well established in natural healing circles and qigong, any kind of energy cultivation practice, that one of the very simplest and most cost-effective things that you can do for your health and your emotional and mental health is to go outside and get your bare feet on the earth and plug in to your home frequencies, because this literally charges your battery. It brings up the charge in your own aura, which is nothing more or less than the most fundamental aspect of your immune system. Your human aura, your bioplasma field. This is the first barrier between you and outside invading influences. So what can you do to protect yourself from electrosmog, which constitutes a constant interference to human brainwaves and all biological functioning? Well, a permanent solution would involve deep and far-reaching change in societal infrastructure and energy production, and it would involve a shift or a quantum leap in human consciousness. And it just may be that we're on the verge of that. But until this collective change happens, there are some little things that we can do to protect ourselves in our day-to-day lives. And in the second half of this video that we're going to segue into, I'm going to walk you through some suggested products and things that you can do around your home to make it a little more friendly to organic life. So I thank you so much for your attention so far. I hope you're enjoying the video, and please stay with me for part 2. So the first fix I'm going to suggest to help make your home more inhabitable for humans is a smart meter cover. Now, when the power companies began to install these smart meters, people really came forward with all kinds of electromagnetic, radio frequency initiated symptoms. Headaches, irritability, insomnia rank high among those. So, so just a few facts about smart meters. They typically operate in the around 902 to 928 megahertz range, and in the radio frequency microwave range of 300 megahertz to 3 gigahertz. And what's even better is that 90% of those pulses aren't even your data, but something called the meshwork talking to itself, which they call network chatter. How lovely. PG&E's own documents revealed last year that their meters pulse approximately between 10,000 and 190,000 times per day. So if you're someone who's experiencing symptoms like insomnia, headaches, irritability, etc., after your smart meter was installed, you might want to check out one of these covers. And there are different brands, different manufacturers of smart meter covers. You could probably even make your own at home. I'm just showing this picture here as an example of what a smart meter cover typically looks like. It operates by the Faraday cage technology. So just in case you don't know, a Faraday cage is an enclosure or a mesh made of conductive material that was discovered in the 1800s by a scientist, I believe in England, named Michael Faraday. And the Faraday cage technology, just as an aside, is a favorite of many people because it is a scientifically tried and true method to literally block electromagnetic fields. And this has some benefits and not so good benefits, which we'll get to down the road. But for these applications, the smart meter and the next product that I'm going to get into, which is a router cover, Faraday cage technology works really well. The only place that I don't recommend Faraday cage is on your body, and that's what we're going to get into in a bit. Yeah, so the second product that I would suggest to EMF proof your home is to get a router cover, and obviously using Faraday cage technology. And the router cover is something that you can, it's suggested that during the day you only cover the antenna with the cage, and then in the evening you wrap the whole thing while you're sleeping. Because your router is something that's just going all the time in that gigahertz range. Another suggestion is just turn the thing off at night. But either way, the cage will protect you during the day. The next product that I would suggest, if you use a laptop at home, a lot of us do, is a laptop shield. And even with the shield, I personally would not use my laptop literally on my lap. I know that that's why those were designed. But to have that radiation that close to your reproductive organs, I don't feel like that's a good idea when we know that it's, the radiation is destructive to cells and DNA. But I do recommend having one, especially if you use a laptop. And so the next product I'm going to recommend or suggest to EMF proof your home and make it friendly, human friendly, is to get some Orgonite Pyramids. Now ideally 2 sets of 4 would be optimal. 2 sets of 4. Why 2 sets of 4? One set can be used to literally grid your property, and the other set is to be used indoors. The Orgonite functions as kind of a passive air purifier. They operate through piezoelectricity. That is an electrical field, electromagnetic field, harmonious to humans, is generated via the compression of crystals inside a matrix. And they're literally, quite literally, passive negative ion generators. By surrounding your home with them outdoors and using them in the garden, you can accelerate plant growth, and you can also create kind of a shield around your property that will make it less likely that those funny little things that fall from the sky, from planes, the heavy metals, they won't come around your property so much if you've got these pyramids. And I will have some links in the description box below as to further information on the use of Orgonite Pyramids in and around your home, how it works, the science behind it, as well as some links to purchase your own Orgonite Pyramids. And for that matter, all the products that I'm sharing here will be linked in the description box below. So the next product that I think is pretty important for everyone who has a cell phone is to have a cell phone shield of some sort. This type that I'm showing you right here is using the Faraday cage technology, so it is literally and quite actually a shield. And there are other phone products that call themselves shields, but they're not technically a shield. They're not using the Faraday cage technology. These products are technically known as neutralizers, and they're often made from orgonite, shungite, other kinds of crystals or substances that can neutralize incoherent electromagnetic fields. And these products often come in a multi-pack where you can get, say, 5 or 6 of them, because you can stick one on your phone, you can stick one on your computer, one on your iPad, you can even stick a couple on your refrigerator, you can stick one on your microwave, etc. So if you have a bunch of these, you can actually make a dent in the quantity of stray electromagnetic fields in your home. The next product that I feel is a relatively simple thing that one can do that can make a difference in your personal field is to get yourself some EMF protective jewelry. So the jewelry is typically not made of any kind of metal. In fact, generally speaking, it's not recommended to have metal on your body because you become then an antenna for these frequencies which are out of phase or out of the frequency range for natural organic life. So the jewelry is typically made of stones, crystals, stones such as shungite or orgonite, which is a composite of a variety of types of stones and can contain some metals, but it creates the piezoelectric effect. And the piezoelectric effect acts as its own generator. It's a passive generator, but it's a passive negative ion generator. So it's creating a field right in your local to your body that is harmonious with organic life. So for this reason, I recommend, especially the bracelets if you're working on your computer, if you've got your fingertips on the keyboard. A lot of people like these. Another type of personal protective jewelry is the EMF protection pendant. These come in a variety of styles, and they're typically made of shungite. This one I'm showing is made of orgonite, which contains some shungite and also some gold. And they're often also made of crystals. So the importance of the pendant is that it falls over the heart, giving protection to that vital organ and the thymus gland, which is the seat of your immunity. So having protection for this part of your body, in my opinion, is fairly vital. And I'm going to link these and all of these products that I'm mentioning in the description box below. And these last 2 products I'm going to show you and suggest are really not necessarily for everyone. It depends on where you live and what is in your immediate environment, really. Because these 2 things are definitely heavy-duty Faraday cage, and you don't want your body living in a Faraday cage. You see, this is part of the confusion and really part of the argument that comes into EMF protection, because people like Faraday cage because the EMF meter responds to that. If something is in the Faraday cage, and you test it with a meter, you can really see that needle go down, indicating that it's literally blocking the electromagnetic fields. However, because that your physical body organism has its own magnetism, you do not want to live in a Faraday cage. You can use Faraday cage on your products, but you don't want to put yourself in one. So this is why I recommend the orgonite or the shungite to be used on the body, and the Faraday cage stuff for your phone and router, etc. But, however, depending on your situation, you may want to get some paint.
And this is shielding paint. And again, I don't recommend painting your entire house with it, but some people like to paint, say, the wall between their bedroom and their router, or the wall between a room and their smart meter. Or, you know, like if you've got a cell phone tower nearby, which I hope you don't, but, you know, that wall facing that tower are some suggested uses for the paint. And the same with the fabric. Maybe that is applicable to your situation, to have a curtain, etc. You can actually create your own router cover or one for your television with the fabric. But I definitely do not recommend manufacturing your own clothing with metal Faraday cage fabric. I definitely do not recommend that, even though if you look at Amazon, there is clothing like that. But that is not considering the human as a living biofield. So I hope that this information has been helpful to you. Every product that I mentioned, I've linked below in the description box, including my website and additional information. So I really hope that you found this helpful. And please comment if you have any. And thank you so much for your time. Take good care.